What? Why, hello, and welcome to issue 701. Who didn't hit mute this guy? Geek in the Studio Radio. I am one of your hosts, Aron Duran.
I'm one of your other hosts, Beanarita.
And I'm your other host, Cable Hashitani.
The abused elder.
The abused elder.
I appreciate that we're going into our back half. You know, the
I'm in my
700
prime.
to 1400.
Right as the mail.
With the same skill and accuracy as the first 700 episodes.
Oh, yeah. No. Look, it still sound better than was recorded on one mic on iMovie way back in the day, and I had to pull audio off of it. God, that was when it was a long time ago, man.
Is that even still a thing?
Yes.
Yeah, but yes. What's funny is like iMovie now is like early Final Cut. Anyway, hi everybody.
Hello.
Hi.
Oh, see, okay, a little TMI here. Where you have something that's carbonated, usually it comes out in one, but apparently this fucking dragon fruit lager, it's like bursts. It's like pow, pow, pow,
Yep.
pow.
I'm going to make a note real quick.
Slow release carbonation.
So, your drink, and my drink, that we all got at the bar here at Guardian Games. So one of my fellow assistant managers, Jeff, he's gone through and picked up, he curated a summer menu. So there's a bunch of seasonal summer beers on tap, in cans and on tap right now. And these are some of them.
Oh, I keep turning up your headphones. I'm not meaning to turn. No, I'm not.
No,
yes, I am.
I don't know what you're doing. You're doing a thing. It's fine.
Okay.
So
it was hard to choose which flavor thing I wanted to get. I chose wisely though. Golden Road Mango Cart. It is mango-licious.
So here's the other thing.
Mango-licious.
I had planned on having my shit together and having the room ready. I keep forgetting none of that's going to happen during camp week. But in my head, I had already picked out what drinks I was going to buy for us, and you're both drinking exactly what I would have picked.
Yeah, we're predictable.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
Well, no, now I'm a little bit curious. I'm like, what logic did you use to come to those decisions?
I think I know mine. I'm gonna guess.
That one just went, that's Aaron, and that one's Denise.
Oh. I thought part of it
intrinsically knows us.
Yeah. Well, I thought part of it also is I figured you knew that I don't, as a rule, like mango.
I don't know that I knew that.
Mango used to really, I still get that tingly allergic mouth to mango because it's a giant fucking stone fruit.
It is.
It is.
But I forgot what store I was in, but they weren't getting your standard mangoes from Mexico. They got in some order somehow from off the coast of Sri Lanka.
Okay.
But I've read about these before. Of all places, I didn't read about it. It was Hassan Minhaj, one of his Patriot Act episodes. He's talking about his parents and about how no matter how famous he is, they'll never forgive him for not thinking they should vote for that super conservative guy in India.
Yeah.
But he goes on a sidetrack and he mentions by the way, he's it has all these problems, but the one thing you can get, he's are the greatest mangoes you've ever had. And I don't care what you say. If you've never had these, you have not had the greatest mangoes that exist in the world. And I found one and it was goddamn delicious. And it didn't give me mild anaphylactic shock, which was cool. Reaction. Yeah.
Interesting.
Anyway, that was a weird thing.
Yeah, I knew the thing about stone fruits though.
Yeah. Couple, I think last weekend or whatever, I was at Greg and Anita's and they had fresh cherries and I was like, I'm gonna do it. I had one.
How'd that work out?
It was okay. Then I had two.
And how'd that work out?
Not as okay. But I was like, I think I can chance three.
And then what happened?
I took half a Benadryl.
Okay.
And then I said, well, I am done with the cherries.
Aww.
Oh, I love, especially fucking Rainier cherries.
Oh my God.
they're just ridiculously good.
Rainier cherries was on my list of reasons in childhood that I wanted to live in the Northwest.
Mhm.
I stand by that.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Reasonable.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So what's on the show tonight, kids?
Well, heck yeah, man. That was a weird answer to that one. We're going to talk about some new Star Trek. The second Ahsoka trailer dropped today.
Yep.
Cable and I both have questions about said trailer.
Yep.
I'm sure Bean does too. And then there's the Deadpool Wolverine picture that made all of the nerd internet be like, "Is this real?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's real."
Yeah, that's fucking real.
No,
it's
what was
all
it?
over.
What was it? What do you say? Don't blink.
No.
That was the post Ryan Reynolds put, and then Hugh Jackman did the same thing. Don't blink, and that is leading to rumors as to who the villain is.
Weeping Angels.
Do you want to just dive into it?
Yeah, sure.
Wow, diving into Deadpool makes
Yeah.
a fucking chimichangas. So the rumor about that is that the villain is Mojo, because Mojo doesn't blink.
Fuck yeah.
So Deadpool Wolverine pulled onto Mojo Planet.
Yep. Okay.
Especially if that means they can kill fucking. Oh. That means we might get to see and then kill Longshot in the same movie.
Well, that'd be great.
That would make me so happy. I know there are Longshot stands out there. That's fine. Character annoys the hell out of me. So what's the other one? Shatterstar that they killed in Deadpool 2?
Yes, it
That
is.
made me so happy.
That was great. The thing with, like, I don't know, the X-Men that I don't care as much for seem to be the ones that are everyone else's favorite. Like, I do not, in any way, shape, or form, understand everyone's attraction to Gambit.
I don't either.
My sister's one of those.
But they fucking love
They
him.
fucking love. Hello, Brad. Hello, Ryan. Yeah, they love
Oh.
Gambit.
Oh, I bet I know. It's the hot possum thing.
Wait. Hot
Um,
possum?
Hot possum.
Hot
is-
possum.
I don't know that it's a new thing, but it's going around currently.
Oh, I think I
And
saw something
other-
about that.
Other people
Oh,
who
oops.
fit this category are what's his face from
Ryan Gosling is hot possum.
No,
Oh,
Ryan Gosling is not a hot possum. The guy from Walking Dead. Oh
Yep.
my god.
Okay.
You know the kind of
Yes,
not
I know who you're
rednecky-
talking about.
Negan.
No.
no, the one who's also in Boondock Saints. Oh my god.
You have now mentioned two things I could give two shits about.
Yep.
Norman Reedus. Good God.
Oh, he
Norman
always
Reedus
looks-
is a hot possum.
oh, because he always looks dirty.
Yes, essentially, I think the concept is guys who are at the same time attractive, but kind of dirty.
It freaked me out the first time Norman Reedus spoke, and it was an English accent.
He's English?
Unless I was watching him do something else.
Maybe I've never heard him speak in his natural voice. But yes, hot. So I would guess.
Oh no,
that,
he's an American. Why?
I'm sure it was a bit.
It must have been then. Never mind.
At any rate,
Anyways.
Gambit, hot possum.
Okay.
He seems kind of trashy,
Mhm.
but is also attractive, ostensibly.
It
Thanks, Ada.
feels-
I don't know why I thought he was. What made me think he was British? I bet you he was doing a bit, and he's doing a British accent.
He was doing a bit. I feel like hot possum is just the latest iteration of the trope of women like bad boys.
I don't know that it's strictly a bad boy thing because that's like a personality style, right? Like but
I would imagine a lot of that is also built into being a hot possum, or a. What was the term that I heard used for Machine Gun Kelly and Pete? What's his name?
Pete
Pete
Davidson.
Davidson.
Pete Davidson. It's like line cook goblin.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's something like that.
Yep.
Yeah,
That works.
yeah,
Like what's his name in The Bear?
yeah. Oh yeah. Which everyone
Yeah,
keeps
no,
pointing
he's-
out that he looks He looks a lot like a very young Gene Wilder.
He kind of does.
He kind of does, actually.
He's a little clean cut for the
Have either of you
what do you
watched
call it?
The Bear?
Yeah,
No.
I just finished the second season.
I've never watched. What is the name of the show about the Gallagher family?
As in, like, Sledge-O-Matic
No,
or
it's-
Liam or
it stars
Oasis?
It stars Bill Macy
Oh,
as the father.
oh,
It's the
I know what you mean. There's a British version of it, I think, first too.
I don't know.
Um,
But he's also from that. His character's name is Lip.
mm.
Sorry, William H. Macy.
I was like, who the fuck is
That's
Bill?
probably why he doesn't go by Bill Macy.
Not Skins.
It's like the Trashes or something.
Essentially, yeah, just like a dirt family. Shameless.
Shameless.
Yep.
Oh yeah, Eda says
This is an American remake
Yeah.
of the British one, which
Eda
I don't
mentions
think lasted. as
Viggo
long.
Mortensen. Clean, he's okay, but get him all dirty in a ranger outfit and he turns into fire.
Yep, hot possum.
Okay.
Um,
I'm going to go with
backwoodsy.
I don't get it, and that's okay.
I will accept the hot possum on a case by case basis. It's not an across the board.
how did we get to this?
Gambit. We don't understand
Oh,
why
Yeah, and you know
people
what?
dig Gambit.
His costume is
or
stupid.
Long Shot. Or
There are. I don't like Long Shot.
I don't know.
I was about to say he's a second-rate Domino, but I don't know who came first, Domino or Hot Shot.
Long Shot?
Yeah.
Long
Was-
Shot.
Long
came
Shot
first.
did?
Yeah.
Well, Domino's better.
Domino was created by Rob Liefeld.
Was Long Shot a Claremont creation?
Yes.
Okay.
That was deep in the Claremont
I guess so.
years.
Just like I don't. Yeah.
That
I
was
just-
Claremont Art Adams era.
Okay. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Also, the guy who did the voice of Gambit in X-Men the Animated Series just always annoyed the hell out of me. It's just such a bad Cajun accent.
Oh yeah.
When
it's
I
horrible.
think of Gambit, I think of the animated version one. And what the fuck is up with his like
His weird,
no
like
mask cowl?
his purple condom face,
Yep.
like his low rent Kang the Conqueror.
but not his face and not his hair.
No, it's
It's
yeah. Well, yeah, the
really
hair
dumb.
can come out as a tuft.
Yep.
Yeah. No, then that's why I'm like, I don't get it. I don't get it either.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it's God. This one gets me in trouble. Well, it won't get me in trouble, but people really like this character. I never got the massive appeal to Jubilee. I'm like, that's just a less disco fun Dazzler. And as everyone knows, Dazzler is the greatest X-Men. And I will have words.
I feel like I enjoy Jubilee the comic book character more than I enjoyed Jubilee the cartoon character.
Yes. You know what Jubilee I also liked a lot? Fucking Vampire Jubilee when she
She's
got turned
still
into
a vampire.
because I quit reading for a while.
She's still a vampire.
Yeah, that was cool.
That stuck.
Eda, of course, she loves Long Shot. Now I remember why we used to have sibling fights when I ran a Tifa.
No. Oh, I misheard you.
Yep.
I was gonna say, so again, animated series is my biggest exposure to X-Men, and there is no Dazzler as far as I remember, but
The-
there is Jubilee. She's kind of like the catalytic character
yes.
for the
she's
series, and
yeah.
she's the only young person.
Mhm.
So as a child in the 90s, that's the most relatable character.
That's
No.
why she's there. is
I
to-
get all of that.
Yeah.
Was she first? Jim Lee made her though, right?
She showed up first in the comics, and then showed up in the animated series.
Right.
Because she showed up in the comics as a sidekick to Wolverine early on.
Yeah.
Um,
I have now come to think that Squirrel Girl makes a much better sidekick to Wolverine.
which Wolverine are we talking about now?
to Logan. The other ones kind of like roll with her.
True.
She drives Logan up the wall, which is why it's fun.
Yeah.
Because she's always asking if she can do a fastball special, and he's like, "You have to quit talking about that." Like when there's a big fight, she's like, "Oh," he's like, "Don't, no."
I think my favorite in canon mention of the fastball special is the time that Wolverine tells She-Hulk to pick him up and throw him, and so
Yep.
she gets in that position. He gets in, balls up in her hand. She's like, So what do you call this again? This is a fastball special. You usually do this with a dude, right? Yeah. It's a real tight butt you got there, Wolverine. And just throws him.
Yeah.
Like,
oh my
that
God.
was great. Thank you.
So we're bringing this all up because Ryan Reynolds posted the picture.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there's no way they don't make a fastball special joke.
How can they not?
How can they not?
Yeah, they have to.
Yeah. So yeah, I the idea of Mojo Planet could be fun.
It also
Or Mojo World.
It lends itself well to what the MCU has been doing with the multiverse.
Mm-hmm.
It lends itself well to doing all the cameos they keep talking about are going to happen, which will reference everything that they have done at Fox,
right,
with any Marvel properties. So
yes. I need you guys to rewind all the way back to the beginning and tell me what the fuck is Mojo, because I don't understand.
Mojo.
Mojo is Mojo. Mojo is the supreme ruler of Mojo World
and of Mojoverse
and the Mojoverse. And Mojo requires entertainment and requires to be entertained and to provide entertainment. He keeps all of his subjects in line by broadcasting at them all the time.
Yeah.
That's why his eyes are pried open so that he never misses anything. The X-Men, there is an entirely other podcast that you should go listen to.
Listen to Jay and Miles explain the X-Men.
Explain the X-Men.
Yes.
Yeah. Gotta get that emphasis in there. There's branding going on. Hi, Jay. Hi, Miles.
Oh my God.
I never should be listening to them.
I never realized what inspired the creation of Mojo.
What is it?
So the writer Ann Nocenti helped co-create Longshot. When she was writing the Longshot miniseries, she was pursuing her master's degree at Columbia, studying writers like Marshall McLuhan, Noam Chomsky, Edward Herman, and Walter Lippmann. So they're all influences on. She was basically like, basically, I think her idea is, what if everything they say could happen with the media as it destroys society? I put into a villain.
Oh, man.
So he's going to be very timely, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Mojo
Mojo is a perfect villain for the modern age.
Inspired by Malcolm McDowell. So it was also Malcolm McDowell said he inspired the look of Mojo, and that's been confirmed from Clockwork Orange with the eyes. His eyes are always kept open.
Yep.
Huh. Well, there you go.
Yeah, that is an. I watched Clockwork Orange when I was too young to have watched Clockwork Orange, and that is one of those images that is just burned into my brain.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, Ryan Reynolds posted. Basically, though, the thing was that he wrote "Don't Blink," and it's him in his suit, which they've made even more red. And it's got Wolverine in the yellow suit. The original Claremont yellow suit. I know for a lot of X-Men fans, it's it's on his belt. It's on the belt.
Oh, didn't it used to be a big old chess piece?
No, he's never had that.
No.
I know a lot of people are like, "What's not the one I grew up with? The brown and black one."
It's like, I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care. You know what? Be lucky this isn't like the one with the whiskers on the face mask.
That one was funny.
His little whiskers when he fought the Hulk originally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm pumped for this. I've enjoyed both Deadpool movies. They're fun.
Yeah,
they're ridiculous.
They're a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I like that this also appears in canon. They're like, is he not dead? And they're like, do you forget that Deadpool has access to time travel now? Because at the end of Deadpool 2, and everyone also forgets that they're wiring an arc reactor into Cable's time travel thing.
Yeah.
Almost no one ever talks about that. Like, where's the power come from? And I was like, Yukio she's wiring Tony Stark's arc reactor into the time travel thing. So it's kind of unlimited.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be fun. It'll be ridiculous. Yeah.
And also, they shouldn't have access to the arc reactor at that point, but
they do.
they do.
Yeah.
Also, it's a comic book movie.
Shut up. Not only that, it's a Deadpool comic book movie.
Yeah.
You know, I only way I wanted to end in one way. I wanted to end with Deadpool then appearing at Logan's grave at the end of Logan, and trying to be all respectful, but then just not being able to do it, and then have Hugh Jackman show up and have him freak out, and then go to credits.
Yeah.
Norm has some commentary about Gambit
Yeah.
and why people think he's hot. The chin line, the accent, the moves. I guess I don't know what his moves are. His angsty teen outfit. So he's like an Uber version of the weird kid in high school.
Yeah.
He's into martial arts and grudge.
I'm a little offended by that as one of the weird kids from high school.
As was I.
I was gonna say we clearly went to different high schools, Norm, because the kid who wore the trench coat and was into martial arts and was weird was not considered one of the hot guys.
No. And I don't know why Ryan is saying this, but it cracked me up. He studied the blade. It just seems like it's very deep.
I think I'm gonna break cable tonight.
No, I just realized that as you were listing off the trench coat and this, and I'm like, oh fuck, wait, I did do that. That was like my last year of high school.
Did you also run in an anime style?
No, that was not around then.
Oh no, you're right. That was
My anime was Akira. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I didn't want to run around anime style. I wanted to do the dope ass bike
The
slide.
bike slide.
Mm-hmm,
Yep.
When I was in high school,
Yes.
that's what the weird kids were doing.
The weird anime run.
Mhm.
The Naruto run.
Yep.
Yeah, yes.
Yes.
It's
from-
I've never seen a Naruto, so
The only thing I ever liked
Even
about that
I've
was
seen Naruto.
the one thing I still loved about that run was like years ago when it like hit peak meme, was they were doing that report outside Area 51 during the anniversary, and some kid just runs by the camera doing the run really quick. It's
That was dope. I remember that.
fucking legend. So yeah, that's the Deadpool thing. It'll be fun.
Yep.
We got a lot of time to go, but look, it's gonna be a good time.
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna be delightfully crass.
Do you want to do some Ahsoka?
Yeah, I want to. Let's tackle that
Okay.
and then I want to hear about your trip.
Oh, right. Okay. Boy, am I bad at talking about myself, which
I
is
know.
hilarious because I never shut up.
We're aware.
Yeah.
We've met you.
Move on.
Uh-huh.
Ahsoka.
Ahsoka. So the trailer confirmed a lot of things. One, that the other Mickelson is indeed playing Grand Admiral Thrawn, reprising the role in live action.
How many are there?
I don't know. 2 that I know of.
So one less than the Star Guards. It's like a Nordic revolution
Yeah.
right now.
There's Mads,
Nordic villains.
and there's whatever. I'm sorry, I don't ever remember what the brother's name is.
Not Mads.
For the Skarsgårds or the Mickelsons?
No, Mikkelsen.
Mickelson's.
Mads Mikkelsen.
There's K's in it.
Umlauts.
What's the other one? God damn it! Come on. No, give me all of the Mickelsons. Lars.
Lars.
Mads and Lars.
Lars is played the voice of Grand Admiral Thrawn and is confirmed as playing him in live action. It's
Yes.
fantastic. We did finally get to see and hear Mary Elizabeth Winstead, Mrs. Obi-Wan, playing Hera. I'm still weirded out by
I
that.
know.
I am still weirded out by that. But I think the thing that threw both you and I is the comment from Sabine referring to Ahsoka as master.
Yeah, well, there's that line where Ahsoka says, what is it? Anakin didn't finish his training because I ran from Anakin or something.
I
Just like
Anakin.
I abandoned you.
Mm-hmm.
And Sabine has that line, something master. And I was like,
Right.
What?
And in the trailer, I'm pretty sure that she's wielding a lightsaber at some point.
She sure is.
It looks
And
like it,
there
yeah.
is at least one scene where she's trying
She's
to do a
she's
force
force
thing.
pushing or
Mhm.
something. Yeah.
So this was never covered in Rebels.
I thought I'd gotten spoiled because I still have not finished Rebels, but okay, it's
Right.
we're all equally surprised by this.
Yeah.
You are. That the spoiler to Rebels came in the Mandalorian season 3.
Yes.
I'm never gonna remember right
That's
now.
fine.
Yep,
Yes.
it's fine.
Just keep going.
The
I had to think for a minute too, and I was like, oh, yes.
yeah. Anyway. So the only time that we've seen Sabine wield any sort of blade was when Kanan was training her with the Darksaber.
Right.
Because the Darksaber, as we have continued to learn, is an unwieldy beast
Right.
if you are not remotely trained on how to use it.
Yeah.
And the worse you are with it, the harder it becomes to
Yep.
do it at all, right?
And it gave both Favreau and Filoni an opportunity to explain something about lightsabers and lightsaber design and things that they had learned from George Lucas about lightsabers that had not previously been discussed, and that is they're fucking heavy.
Yeah.
For something that is a beam of light coming out of a hilt, as soon as you turn that fucker on, it takes 2 hands.
Yeah.
He like Lucas always wanted the lightsaber to be a 2-handed weapon, and so their take on is that means it's because it's heavy.
Right. And he always also wanted it to be the reason why only Jedi use it is that it's dangerous or Sith.
Mm-hmm. There's a couple reasons, right?
There's a couple, but like
the technology is hard to access. You need
Mhm.
the special training.
yeah, you
which
got to
you
get a
can only
kyber.
get from other trained people.
Right.
And a lot of the depictions of Jedi assembling their lightsabers for the first time, that's all done with the Force.
Right.
They actually have the components in front of them, and they assembled it using the Force. So there are tiny little screws and bits and pieces that all go together
Mhm.
that you could not do by doing it by hand.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I knew that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It came up a lot in the Clone Wars, Gendy Karatovsky's Clone Wars cartoon, and also the Clone Wars animated series.
Okay. I know
Especially
it.
the scene with all the younglings
Yep.
that has in Ahsoka, the return of David Tennant as the lightsaber librarian.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Even I bring it up a lot, but even in the role-playing game, it was very much written that like unless your character is force sensitive, well, as a Jedi or at least force sensitive, you can try to use a lightsaber, but it's equivalent of like DC.
Mm-hmm.
It was a DC 30, let's say, if you were not trained in it. They were dangerous to use.
Oof.
And that's one of Lucas's notes that like they are that's why he also created vibro blades.
Mm-hmm.
So that non-Jedi could have melee weapons that could handle a lightsaber for a little while, not long.
Right. They would still break down.
They would still break down. Yeah. So yeah, I'm super pumped on that. We got a glimpse of the New Republic fleet. So all the new Mon Cal cruisers.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
A little bit more of the late Ray.
Yeah.
What's his last name?
The character's name is Shin Hati.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really sad. He was a cool.
Ray Stevenson. Thank you.
Yeah,
that was a surprise.
I'm
His
curious.
character's name is Balin Skull.
That's one of them. Shin Hati is the guy that says we are no Jedi and like shivs the dude. You see in the beginning of the trailer. That's Shin. I think Balin Skull is the woman that is with him.
No, he is listed
Ray
as Balin
Stevenson.
Oh, that's right. I'm
is
sorry. I'm
Balin
getting
Skull.
yeah. Oh, that's right. Balin says he
Shin
and Shin.
Hati is appears to be a woman. Actor's name is Ivana Sankno.
Looks a lot like. I'm not going to say it's what she is. She looks a lot like a witch of Dathomir.
Little bit.
And you know me, what I would give to have anything that has more witches of Dathomir in it. They are fucking cool. They're so cool. especially if you get the chorus behind it whenever they speak. It's the most badass thing ever. I love it.
I feel like it was a bit that I saw. It was a comedian or other actress. I don't know. But they were basically going the first time they introduce the Night Sisters of Dathomir on Clone Wars. It was like, wait, back up, hold the phone. You've had these that you're saying that this has existed in Star Wars. They've been here the whole time.
Yeah.
All of these. Why aren't you doing fucking shows about the Night Sisters of Dathomir? What the fuck?
Who, by the way, ride Rancors.
Yeah, hot witch,
Right.
hot, Sith
Force using
witches.
They're
that
not
ride
Sith.
Rancors.
They're
Yeah,
evil,
right.
but they're not Sith because they don't follow the
Are
rules.
they evil?
I'm going to change my name to Sith Witch. No, they're not evil. They are just not overly preoccupied with anybody else's interests or needs.
Well,
They're doing it for themselves.
there's also been the implication that at one time Dathomir was not a hellhole,
Yeah.
and that they were given the short shrift, and because they also have the brothers. That's what
Mhm.
like Maul and Savage.
Savage Opress.
Oh my god,
Mm.
it's a more. There's no more Lucas name.
Yeah.
When
No,
people are like,
there's
"That
not.
name's dumb," I'm like, "That is the most George Lucasy Lucas name."
That they could have ever come up with.
Yeah, the only thing is more Lucasy if a character was named Fastero Ma Intense.
Stupid. Okay, but you're saying Dathomir didn't used to
So
look like
I'm
that.
trying to remember. It's probably not canon. Again, this is shit pulled from like the old role playing games, which are like the books are written like West End was given access to like every note George ever had and every Ralph McQuarrie sketch, everything. Not so much the new games, but the ones in the 80s and 90s, like had all of it. And I think it was that, yeah, Dathomir used to be an okay place. And I think it was like they got stuck in the middle of the original Jedi Sith War. And they unfortunately like believed both when they're like, well, if we'll make sure you're fine. And like the Sith were going to break their promise, and the Jedi were like,
Do we really want to align ourselves?
Well,
with
I
them?
think as it's written, the Jedi couldn't quite understand how they could use these Force abilities with no Jedi or Sith style training. Like they were already knowing how to do body transfers, resurrections, Force lightning, but they weren't like ruled by passion like Sith were. So
maybe because possibly the Jedi understand less about the Force than they keep telling us they do.
right. So if I remember correctly, yeah, basically the Sith were like, if you help us do this, we'll make sure that you don't get pulled into the war. That didn't happen. So when they asked the Jedi, like, hey, we need your help with this, the Jedi were like, we don't quite get you, and you kind of give off Oogie dark side vibes. So
Right.
That's why the witches hate both.
So, like skimming the lore about them, they started from a banished Jedi Knight.
Oh, okay.
So that's their core base. That's their starting point for how to wield the Force and for what purposes. But that was a way long time ago. And
Right.
because the Jedi are so, tight-fisted with their knowledge, it would make sense that, like, if they have this older, knowledge about how to use the Force, and they've been passing it down with each other for generations, meanwhile, out in the rest of the world, the Jedi, and their councils
Right.
decide, like, oh, this knowledge is too dangerous to be public, even amongst the Jedi,
Right.
and they start, like, clocking it all down.
Yeah.
Makes sense to me.
But they're just cool. That's why I'm hoping maybe that one character has some kind of connection. I mean, really, I just see like one like extreme pale face and kind of stringy hair, and it's a woman. I'm like, that's a witch of Dathomir, please.
I
don't want to turn to that Marvel fan like, the villain's going to be Mephistopheles. Here's proof.
No. Good Lord. I still come across those. It's like, it's been months. Why are you still talking about a show that was
if I was Kevin Feige, I would never bring that character in just out of spite.
Yeah.
I'd use fucking what's his name, Blackheart, Mephistopheles' like weird son.
Mm-hmm.
I'd use him, and only say father, not mention his name at all.
I would pay real money for Nightmare.
Maybe I'm thinking of Nightmare.
No, you're not thinking of Nightmare.
So that is that one, Blackthorn or whatever.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, Blackheart.
Blackheart. I only remember it because I had a prestige format book that was the Punisher, Wolverine, and Ghost Rider, basically against Blackheart and Nightmare.
Yeah,
and it was fucking bitching.
Yeah,
it was so
like,
metal.
It sounds like a metal album.
Yeah.
Of comics.
Oh, 100% was. I think it even had like the foil embossed metal cover. I was like, hell yeah.
Is there anything else we want to cover on a second?
Well, let's give a shout out to fucking what's her name who plays Mon Mothma. Can you imagine you're in a fucking cutscene? I think in either Revenge of the Attack of the Clones or Phantom Menace. And you're like, well, that was fun. Never gonna do that again. And then all of a sudden, want to bet?
Here you go.
Here you go. You're gonna be in every new Star Wars thing from fucking Revenge of the Sith on. Just
playing Mon Mothma.
Still playing Mon Mothma, right? I'm curious if they're gonna have her death. I've read the one thing they've kept in both from the original canon or from the let's now call it Legacy, and like the current timeline is that, and I feel like this was something Lucas had wanted, and I could see Filoni concurring with it, is that Mon Mothma dies in her sleep, believing she did everything that she fought for since she was a senator. The war was over, democracy's back, there's a new republic, peace, thousands of years. I did my job.
And now I can die.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't want her to like live to see the rise of the New Order or whatever the fuck the Empire becomes. Like, no, I want her to, say goodnight, sip some tea, and go. Mm-hmm.
As people currently living in that real timeline, yeah, I get that.
I guess that's true. And then on the picture to the right of her, it's just some. I know.
Out loud.
Yeah, it's just some random dude. But again, like the Timothy Zahn RPG nerd of me, I'm like, I wonder if that'll be Talon Card. It's not. It's not gonna be, but I wish it would. It'd be fucking cool. So here is my thoughts / concerns about Thrawn coming back.
Sure.
I never liked how he was defeated in the books. And I get Zahn was doing the irony of the man who foresaw everything could not understand when his own bodyguards killed him. Spoilers for a book that's goddamn 30 years old.
Sure.
So, and when he's beaten a few times in Rebels, it makes sense because it's a random chaos element that catches him almost every time.
Yes, sort of.
Sort of. He is incredibly arrogant, and when he has his blinders on, they are hella blinders. He just rarely makes that mistake.
I appreciate that instead of making him blind to, oh, I didn't see my own guards were going to kill me, but that he is still that villain that is 10 steps ahead, not 2.
Yeah.
The thing that he can never, ever seem to predict, and it's because he doesn't understand it and doesn't believe in it, is as soon as the Force is involved, he's lost because he does not understand it. He fundamentally does not understand the Force. Right. And because of that, that is
he even considers it a crutch in some way.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that is why he got his ass handed to him several times by Ezra.
Right. Because
Ezra figured that out.
Right. I like the character. I haven't read, I've read some of the, Thrawn Ascendant, like the new ones before he's Grand Admiral.
Mm-hmm.
In original Zahn trilogy, I loved it that even just the mere rumor that a Grand Admiral was back, outlying systems surrendered.
Yep.
They're like, you know what? We'll just go under new Imperial rule.
It's fine.
Other than fighting back against, especially this fucking Grand Admiral. No, we ain't fighting. You know what, Republic? You can't get here fast enough. And also, you guys have all like sidelined Akbar for political reasons. That was in the book. They're like, so you ain't got anybody smart enough to take this guy on. We surrender. Which is kind of neat. But I guess what I mean though is I want Thrawn to mean something. Because if this all just still leads to the fucking First Order and all of that like sequels bullshit with that, I never bought the First Order.
Sure.
And this is not me ripping on the characters. I actually love, even to an extent, fucking Kylo Ren. I don't like where they took him in Rise of Skywalker, but the first two, I dug it. I love Rey. I love John Boyega, Finn. Like, I love all the characters. They just were apart from Last Jedi, they were in a shitty movie.
Yep.
So I don't want like all this cool shit with Grand Admiral Thrawn, the apparent heir to the Empire, and then not have it matter.
Which I feel like that's the direction they're going, because whatever Ahsoka is going to be, it is also still only going to be a prequel.
Yeah, I know.
Because Filoni has a movie coming out, and Filoni's movie is Heir to the Empire.
Right.
And it's his version of Heir to the Empire.
Right.
The
only thing I could wonder is if he's going to split. He's going to create basically a version of the Imperial Remnant that I could see a movie in which at the end, because the thing with Thrawn is one reason why he agreed with Palpatine a lot was the need for order.
Mm-hmm.
Chaos breeds war. But he didn't believe in ruling through fear like the Emperor. That's why he loathes the Death Star. He's like, it's a big, giant target. His attitude was basically someone's going to blow it up one day and you have wasted all of these resources when you could have built thousands of Star Destroyers that can accomplish. 2 Star Destroyers can suppress a planet. You don't have to blow it up. It's a waste. So I could kind of see him seeing the rumblings of the New Republic and the rise of the New Order and being like, oh, you didn't learn your lesson from the last 30 years. I want no part of it.
Right.
I'm going to go off here, do my thing with the Chiss Ascendancy and like the Imperial Remnant, and we're going to just do our thing at the end. But that also could be a really anticlimactic ending to a Star horror, but...
Yep. I have enough faith in the creative teams that I'm interested in seeing this. And all of the players involved make me want to jump in.
No, I agree, for sure.
Basically what I'm saying, and I'm going to throw some shade, is that I don't think in any way, shape, or form is it going to be a secret invasion.
Oh, I haven't started it. Don't have a big desire to. I don't think, Bean, have you started watching Secret Invasion?
Okay.
No.
So
I will see Ahsoka before
here's Cable's hot take. If you haven't jumped into watching Secret Invasion yet, don't.
Everything I've heard is like it's just pointless.
It is. Yeah, I do. And it's not that it's pointless and like, oh, it meanders, it does this. It's like, no, I don't understand what the point they are trying to make is. Right. I don't understand who they think the audience is for this show. And I don't, regardless of how well the scenes are acted out, they don't string together as a story. People are pissed that it's an AI-generated opening sequence. I believe the entire fucking thing was generated by AI. The script reads like it was written by ChatGPT. Because you just sit there going, oh, wait, that was dialogue, but that was not, you didn't tell me anything. It is also a fucking waste of Emilia Clarke and Olivia, what's her name? Coleman, yep. Ooh. Absolute waste of those actors.
You know where she wasn't wasted? Oh, well, no, wait, maybe I won't say because I don't want to spoil anything for anyone who is watching. Yeah, she was in something else that we talked about earlier, but I'm not going to say now in case someone isn't done with the bear and is listening right now.
Yeah.
Well, now you just said it.
I did just say
Yeah, but you
it.
just that's not.
That's on IMDb. People can figure that out.
Yeah,
That's
you didn't
true.
say what
Okay,
happened.
Well, now
You
that
said-
I've blurted that much out, I will say that Olivia Colman does a cameo in, or plays a short role in The Bear season 2, and it was very good.
Cool.
Yes.
She
The
is
real
She's
bummer-
really good. She's great.
Mhm.
She's fantastic.
The real bummer is
She is.
Olivia Colman. She's mentioned before. She has wanted to be in a Marvel movie because she loves comics.
Aw.
Oh yeah, she's a big fucking nerd.
Yeah, and now what you tell me, I'm bummed. Like, oh, she finally got in, and it's like a boring show.
Oh no,
So it has like nothing to do other than concept with Bendis's entire Secret Invasion.
other than the scroll. I'm sorry that we completely switched.
We
gears.
know there's- yeah.
It takes threads from Captain Marvel, where Carol and Nick both agreed, promised the Skrulls 100% they would find them a new home world.
Yeah.
So it's kickstarted from that event forward
Mhm.
to when Fury was snapped, and everyone went, "Oh, well, now we've lost Fury. He's gone for 5 years." And then the blip happens, and he comes back. Great. And now, but as soon as he came back, he apparently went into space, as we saw in Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Right.
Right.
And that whole, Talos was impersonating Nick. We actually don't know how long Talos was actually doing that.
Yeah.
There's indications that because of the line of dialogue of Fury saying, "I can't eat bread or I can't eat toast if it's cut into triangles," he's eating triangular shaped toast in Age of Ultron.
Huh.
Which is to indicate that maybe that was Talos.
Right. What a small thing.
But the whole thing is that from when the Skrulls were found at the end of Captain Marvel,
Mhm.
Fury indoctrinated a bunch of them into being a spy network for him because they could be anyone.
Right.
And so they were, and they were his eyes and ears. They are the reason that he has all of the information that he has had gathered over the years and why he.
Okay.
It's like, great, that's super. I'll have a question about that in a minute, but sure, let's go ahead with that. And then Talos brings him up to date about the fact that while he was gone because he was snapped away, Talos kind of put out the call and brought as many Skrulls as he could to Earth, because they were still going to work to find them a new homeworld.
Right.
There are 1 million Skrulls on Earth.
Wah, wah.
And another faction has gone, yeah, I don't know what this shit is about. We need to find a new planet. We already did. We're here.
And
Let's
these,
just get rid of the humans.
and these hairless
Oops.
monkeys are stupid.
I mean,
Yep. They're actively trying to kill off humans. Like they are currently hiding out at Chernobyl because it's like, yeah, it's radiation. Fuck it. We don't care. Which brings up another question. I'll get to that. So my first
Is
question.
that how you get the Super Scroll?
My first question is this. Massive, undetectable alien spy network across the globe into everything. Gets Fury every single bit of information that is out there in the world that can be found. And none of them went, hey, you know what? S.H.I.E.L.D. has been infiltrated by Hydra. Not once.
Maybe they
Not
think
one.
Hydra's
I
kind
knew
of
you
cool.
were going there.
Yeah. It's like you fucked it up. I mean, that's why I make that joke about this was written by ChatGPT. Like you fucked up your premise immediately because of this thing that exists. Hydra infiltrated S.H.I.E.L.D.
And no one.
If Nick had aliens working for him the entire time that could be anybody, that would not have got past Nick.
Man's got a point.
Okay.
2, for long-term
Espionage.
assumption of identities,
Mhm.
like they are at all the high echelons of power, right? their human counterparts are held in stasis at Chernobyl. They're still human. They are still affected by radiation. Skrulls aren't. Humans are. They're all still alive. How?
Are they in like special stasis that keeps them shielded?
No, not really.
Mutants.
So yeah,
they couldn't all be mutants.
there are
But
little
what if that
things.
activates your latent X gene?
But only if you have it.
Sorry.
But yeah, I am 3 episodes in. Every single episode, Merrick and I look at each other going, that was boring, right? It was boring.
Oh.
I'm not making this up. It's like, no, yeah, I'm thoroughly bored.
So is it one of those ones where maybe I just watched the last 2 episodes
I would.
just for all the fighty, punchy, stabby?
Maybe someone will do a
I don't know that that's coming.
They'll do a recap.
I don't know that there's going to be a big fight scene coming.
Oh, is it not over yet?
There are 3 more episodes
Oh, so
of
it's short.
nothing happening.
Mm.
So I don't know. I'll have more to tell you in 3 weeks, I suppose.
All right. I was kind of hoping they would do a version of Dark Reign.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
I
love the idea of Norman Osborn running.
Yeah.
Shield, basically.
Well, it's the first, but the second board me and Mo. Yeah, Brad. Yeah, he gets it.
All right. Well,
Well,
That's a bummer.
it sounds like I'm not going to watch it. I'm not all that invested in the Marvel universe.
Oh,
these
here
days,
you go.
so-
Here's the big thing. Nick Fury married to a Skrull. Is this surprising? No.
no, not really.
No.
No.
You can have somebody. You got somebody different every night. Like, honey, I am feeling like, you know who I had a crush on growing up? You know,
That's weird.
if you had a partner that could turn into anything and they enjoyed it too.
I guess, yeah. I just the idea of like just because someone can be anybody you want. I don't know.
But think of it as like an organic holodeck.
How does the other person really feel about that though? Like, do they get to be themselves ever? And
Well, yes, but
and also like it'd be one thing if
consenting
it was like
adults
you
can
know,
have
you know what'd be
fantasy in the
cool is if you
bedroom.
look like this one famous person or whatever, but someone you actually knew and had feelings for.
No,
a
okay, I
different
didn't mean
time in
like
your
that.
life?
Here's what I meant. I meant it like, hey, honey, want me to be one of your passes tonight? And you'd be like, oh.
Sure.
So Denver, and then we got to take a quick break.
I think we ought to take a quick break and then you just come back with Denver.
That's
and
fine.
that can be the show.
Yeah. We'll do a more Trek recap later.
Yeah.
Spoilers, they're my 2 least favorite Strange New Worlds today.
But still stellar episodes.
Still good.
Still
yeah,
Strange New
they're just
Worlds.
not. Yeah, they're not.
They're- far and above better than any secret invasion going on.
The only critique
Seems
I will
like
say is next time, Trek, you want to use like a high-pitched noise to really send the message that your characters are doing it. Maybe think about your audience because that was, ooh,
Yeah.
They're mostly old. Don't do it.
yeah.
No, I'm kidding. We'll be right back.
Heck yeah, we will. As soon as I get to the place that lets me do that, we'll be right back. Give it a that'll do, pig. That'll do.
Yeah, that'll do.
Hello and welcome back as I move the faces around.
That'll do, pig.
That'll do, pig. I still love that the guy who fucking directed Mad Max Fury Road directed Babe. And Happy Feet.
Yep.
Yeah, he's a very versatile director.
You know what fascinates me about cameras and lighting is Denise and I are, if you're watching this on YouTube later or live on Twitch, Denise and I are sitting on the same sofa against the same wall.
Mm-hmm.
This is wildly different colors.
Yeah, this is very green and you're very blue.
And you're using the same color on the heat on the lamp,
Oh yeah, we are. These are the exact same settings.
but they're different
Yes.
cameras.
It's the different cameras.
It's
Yeah,
different cameras.
this camera comes with. This camera comes with an app. Or it doesn't come with an app. You have to download the app and then you can tweak the settings,
Right.
like including saturation and stuff. But I don't know what that app is called, and I'm using a different computer than I did when we first started doing video.
Right.
And you know, when I get home, this show stops existing in my brain.
I know.
So I've never gotten around to like figuring out what the app is called, seeing if I can even get it for this computer because they're different platforms, so that I can fuck with the settings. I don't want to be green.
It's actually kind of bullshit that every camera is not automatically hardwired to white balance when it plugs into your computer.
Yeah,
It's
that
that
is
they all
dumb.
want you to use their fucking proprietary app. Just
Once again, kids, the villain is capitalism.
Well, just the same way every retailer has their own app now.
Guardian Games does not have its own app.
The big
Thankfully.
ones, the
Give
big
it
box
time.
ones.
Yeah, I know. I'm aware.
speaking of places that had an app, I was at Fan Expo Denver.
How was Fan Expo Denver?
I had a lot of fun. I got to sit in the well, I got it while I was a guest. I got to sit in the pro section.
You were a guest.
I was a guest. I am actually very grateful for bringing the pro section for things I will bring up afterwards.
Okay.
No, I had a lot of fun. It was funny. Like it Friday was very slow for me. Like I brought apart from I think 5 trades and maybe 5 full single issue runs, I brought everything with me.
Okay.
Which by the way made it very heavy to bring on the plane.
I'll bet.
I had to buy a second bag, which I knew I'd have to do, but it still wound up being cheaper than even sending it media mail. Media mail, if you go over, I think it's 70 pounds, like the price like doubles. And it still takes a minimum of a week to get from Portland to Denver. Whereas if I split what I had between my regular bag and its own, I stayed under 50 for both. Anyway, that was a boring thing. What I'm saying is I brought a lot.
You brought a lot.
And after Friday, I had sold maybe 2 trades and like a couple of issue ones. And I was like, oh,
Uh-oh.
so that's how this show is going to go. Because a Fan Expo is very celebrity driven.
Mhm.
Well,
Because they used to be wizards.
which is what you would expect from something called a Fan Expo.
No,
which
that's
is
true. That's true.
precisely like I expect celebrities, I expect toys, I expect comics, but not a focus on comics.
That's fair.
Just an
Yeah.
inclusion of comics.
Mhm.
Unlike a Comic-Con where I expect comics and nothing but comics.
Right.
How's that working out for you?
Shitty.
Well, we'll find out after San Diego this year because every major studio pulled out. There is no Hall H on Saturday.
Okay.
There's nobody in Hall H on Saturday.
Interesting.
Wow.
But again,
Anyway,
back to Fan Expo.
so yeah, Friday was really slow. Had a good time Friday night in what turned out to be the most awkward D&D session I have ever been a part of. Oh,
How much of that can you share publicly?
none of it.
Okay,
I'm
cool.
sure someone will say you can tell your friends. See, he's just laughing right there.
Cool.
And he had nothing to do with it either.
And
I was gonna say, like, he hasn't even shared it privately, so
Yeah.
I could share it privately, but not here. Yeah, anyway.
cool. Something to look
Wow.
forward to.
And then Saturday started kind of slow, and then it just fucking exploded. That an hour before the show ended on Saturday, I was out of product. So I was like, I just put a sign up saying, Denver, you like effing rock. And I walked the floor for like an hour and checked out stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan just wrote just a shit show. Yeah, it was, man. Yeah, it was. It had nothing to do with he and I. We were observers. It's his regular game. He's got to still deal with that shit. Sorry. Anyway. So I brought back the rest of the stock on Sunday, and so the show Sunday was like either 9 to 5 or 10 to 5 or something like that. And I was out by 2:30 again.
Okay.
I had nothing left. The coolest thing, well, two cool things. One, this like little brown kid came up, and especially when it's little, it kills me because they see themselves on the cover and they get all excited. So she was there with her mom and her sister and some friends and stuff, and they're flipping through it, and she's like shy or whatever, but she's excited when she looks at it. And her mom's like, "Was this appropriate for her?" I said, "Well, it averages like 12 and up, but if you know your kid, yeah, I mean, there's nothing bad, but it's officially rated or suggested at 12 and up per bookstores and stuff." She's like, "Well, what's in it?" I said, "Well, no," and she's flipping through a little bit, and I said, "It's got creepy Aztec witches and powers and like some scary monsters and stuff." And little girl went, she smiled, and the mom was like, "Oh, she loves weird, scary shit. Like that's her jam." And she loves witches, and she got all excited when I explained like its background and stuff. And her mom looked at her and was like, "See, that's where we come from, like the Aztec stuff and all that." She's like, "That's where we really come from." And the girl got all excited.
That's so goddamn precious.
I know. So I'm explaining to her like, there's the 5 issues is the whole story, or you can get the book that's called The Trade. I'm also realizing I got to quit using you get used to using lingo, especially when you live in Portland. If I say trade, almost everyone in Portland knows what that means. The trade collection.
Prostitutes.
No, that's the oldest profession. But really, are not writers prostitutes of the soul?
I'm sorry. Please continue.
Actually, they're not, because you know what?
It is slang.
Physical prostitutes make way more money than writers do.
That may or may. It depends.
All right.
Gigolos.
Anyway.
Right.
Anyway.
But yeah, don't call it a trade to the
so anyway, I explained it to her, and like the girl, you could tell she wanted the whole story. She wanted to read the whole thing. Well, her mom's like, "Well, it's $15 for the whole story," which is $5 off cover. I always do show prices. The girl's like, like you can see her doing math in her head. She was clearly given a budget with her own money, kind of thing. She's like, "I want the whole story, but 15." And that's what I said, "Tell you what, you just buy the first issue. I'll give you the rest." She was, and she looked at her mom with this look of like, "Is he allowed to do that?" and the woman looked at me, "Are you sure?" I said, "Yeah, absolutely." So she got all excited. So she bought the 5 issues, and I asked her, I said, "You want me to sign it?" She's like, "No. I was like, "Well, I hope you have fun, enjoy it." Because the girl was so excited flipping through it. Her sister, who's not into scary shit at all, she's like, "Do you want to read this after me?" And the sister's like, yes, I'm a total softie, especially when it comes to like the target demographic of that book, for the most part. And I'm gladly that way. But so they go like 3 tables down. All of a sudden, the mom comes back. I told her, I said, "It only has a couple of bad words, but not a lot." And the mom's like, "That's okay. We let him say everything but fuck." I was like, "Oh, all right." So anyway, that leads up to the next little bit. They go away and a few tables out. They come back, the mom and just the first daughter who has the books. She's being very shy behind her. And mom comes over and says, "So we got over there." And she looked at me and she said, "Shit, Mom, I should have had him sign them like he asked, like he offered. Will you come with me?" And I looked at her. I said, "I will sign them." So I signed the first one, and I said, "You want me to sign all of them?" "No." "Are you sure?" "No." "Okay." They did kind of do another loop like 10 minutes later. I said, "Are you sure?" She's like, "No, I like just the one." So that was really cool. The thing I found out a few days later when the mom responded to my Instagram post is that their father had passed away 2 weeks before the show.
Oh.
And these were the tickets he had bought to take the kids to Fan Expo.
Oh, fuck.
And she said, I know you don't know this. You had no way of knowing this. But basically, like, this is the first time that my kid has smiled since she lost her dad. Like, you've given her a memory she's never going to forget. And I lost it reading the fucking Instagram post, as I always do. So that was an amazing moment. The one I didn't talk about online or anything, it's not because I had to hide it. It was like an hour or so later. Another like mom and her kid show up, and her kid's like fully masked up. And the kid wants to trade because they get really, they're like, oh, this is really cool. And the kid's maybe like 10 or 11, if I had to guess, but I'm really bad at, the older you get, it gets harder to guess the age of a kid, So we're done. I said, would you like me to sign it? And the kid kind of, nodded, went, yeah. I said, who do I make it out to? And the kid's wearing a mask. So they're kind of hard to hear to begin with. And I hear the mom say Sierra, and the kid says something else. And I'm like, I'm really sorry. I said, I didn't hear. What name would you like me to sign it? And the mom says Sierra. The kid goes, Zach. I was like, what was that? And then the mom says, well, Zach is a nickname she's playing with right now. And the kid looked at me and said, Zach is who I want to be. And I was like, then I am signing it to Zach.
Okay.
And I kind of gave the mom a look of like, don't say anything. I'm going to sign it to, and to the mom's credit, she's clearly getting used to this, and she softened up immediately, but I like asked the kid, I was like, what was that? And the kid said, Zach, Z-A-C-K. Yes. So I signed it like to Zach and everything. And the kid, like, you could see the smile under their mask and stuff like that. And I'm like, I'm going to sign it to what the kid wants to be called, because it's their fucking book. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So that was a cool little moment too. It doesn't take much to like make someone's day, kind of thing.
It really does not. It takes
as much as sometimes like Wheaton can bug me. His whole rule, like, just don't be a dick. Just, all you gotta do is not be a dick. It's not that hard. It's really not. So those were two really amazing interactions that I had, and I had a few more like that and stuff. There was one young woman. She was in a full like headdress and scarf and kind of covered head to toe. And, we were talking and everything like that. And to be perfectly frank, if you know the game Journey, the video game Journey, anyone who knows it, her garments looked a lot like those characters.
Okay.
But I didn't say like cool costume. We were done. She looked at me and says, by the way, thank you. I was like, for what? She's like, you didn't ask me what costume I was wearing. You didn't say it's a cool costume. She's like, because, practicing Muslim, this is how I want to dress. I went, oh, I don't make any assumptions. And she's like, yeah, thanks for that. That was really nice. And I said, I mean, it does look cool. She's like, thank you. Not a costume. My religion, So, yeah. But it was a lot of fun. Computer, don't you do that to me. But
I can't imagine that is particularly easy in Denver, Colorado. I'm not going to throw any shade on Denver, but the last time I was in Denver, it was still very, very white.
Denver is still very white. Per capita, Portland still wins. Number one with a bullet.
But
Denver's up there.
Has a lot of brown people, doesn't it?
It does. But brown people usually means Catholic.
That's true.
Are brown.
Yes. In that part of the country that used to be a different country.
Yes.
Yeah, they would be largely Catholic.
Denver is pretty progressive, I would say. But so you know how like the joke, like you go 20 miles out of Portland and we become a red state?
Yes.
Basically.
Yep.
So that's not how Denver worked. Denver has tendrils that work through. There's neighborhoods in Denver that are that way. That is how I experienced it. That's from my outside observations. There's not like Denver is blue, suburbs are purple, state red. It's very much more interwoven kind of thing.
Ours is all blue and purple is found up and down the I-5 corridor.
Yeah. And weirdly, Astoria.
That's because that's where all the Portlanders moved to.
And it's a good union town.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I had told myself if I did well, I would treat myself to one thing.
Oh.
And since I missed him when he was in Portland because we were at Dark Arts, you're goddamn right. I got a picture with Sam Raimi.
Good.
And you guys should have seen me. I was like a 15-year-old girl waiting in line to watch the Beatles come off the plane. I am in line. I am trying so cool. I'm trying so hard to be cool. I just went on past it. There is a kid behind me.
I love how funny Cable thinks I am today. You guys missed half of them. They were off air, but
They were great.
It's doing a lot for my ego. Today.
There's like a kid behind me, and I say kid. He's probably like 25. That's a kid.
Yes, they
But
are.
I'm like, what's your favorite Sam Raimi movie? You know? And he's like, well, like when I was a kid, like I grew up, like that's my Spider-Man. And I'm like, oh,
You're still a kid.
not in that Spider. I love his Spider-Man movies. Not so much Spider-Man 3. I think Spider-Man 2 is still one of the best superhero movies ever made. It's fucking fantastic. But I'm here to talk about like clearly Evil Dead, but I'm also like, do you want to talk about like fucking like all his weird ass movies from that era, And no. There were there was a group of African American people in another line. But it was a line that they were in the Raimi line and it looped around, but they were dressed as characters from The Boys. And I just glanced over. I said, hey, your guys' costumes are fucking great. You guys look great. And like, oh, thanks. And then the woman leans over and she's like, hey, we have other things we have to do later. This line's kind of long now. Can we do you mind if the three of us just jump in front of you? They're all guaranteed. You've paid for them. But if you have somewhere else to go, I said, yeah, I don't care. Like the people, like few people behind me kind of gave me daggers. I'm like, fucking chill out.
Yep.
Whatever. But I said, yeah, you can on one condition. You come to Pro Table 9 and you got to buy one of my books. They're like, deal. They did. It turns out they get right to the end right before me and they realize that they're in the wrong line to meet the wrong person.
Oh, no.
But the woman said, but I'm still buying one of your books. You did my family a solid. And they did. They came back. They went by like 2 hours later. And I saw them like, hey, and they're like, okay.
What line were they supposed to be in?
I don't. There was an actor from The Boys there, so I think that's where they were going.
Oh,
I forgot who it was. Yeah, but I mean, the only other time I got photos was at STLV, Star Trek, and I got it with Anson Mount and Jason Isaacs because I remember that I was wearing my Discovery Season 1 shirt that Jesse made, and I'm like, that's why the picture shows like Jason Isaacs like pointing at the shirt, going, "Yeah." He's like, "There I am," and Anson Mount was like, and I remember when I get in line, Anson Mount, where am I on that? And Jason Isaacs is like, Season 1, baby, just me. But everyone, you didn't have to ask him. Raimi posed appropriately depending on how you were dressed. So if you came in a bunch of Spider-Man outfits, motherfucker did the pose, crouched down, stuck a leg out, and did the Spider-Man pose. Someone showed up with a like Fisher Price chainsaw that had been painted to look like ashes. Nice. Raimi just takes it, and the picture, he's just shoving it between the guy's arms like he's chainsawing him to death. And Raimi's going like, and the kid's like, "Bah." Someone brought like the DVD that has the Necronomicon case, and like Raimi's reading it like, it's horrifying. Because in my head, that's all. He does kind of sound like that, and it made me so happy to hear his voice. But he saw me come up, and he loved the shirt you got me, a Deborah Hill production.
Yay!
As he pointed at it, he's like, "Oh, that's cool. I see a lot of like Halloween shirts, but not that one." Yeah. And then we pose, and that's why he's pointing at my shirt, and I'm doing like my stupid cheesy face. when we were done, I shook his hand again. I said, seriously, I said, this is like a crazy treat honor for me. And he went, you got it, buddy. And I just left going, Sam Raimi said buddy to me. And I said, basically, if you know me at all from the show, yeah, buddy. You know, so when you got it, buddy. I was like, it's the best day ever.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, and I protected that 8x10 like it was the fucking holy grail. Just so, yeah, that was pretty great. And Denver's fun, you know. Got to see my buds.
Got to play D&D.
I'll tell you guys off mic.
Should be good.
Oh,
no, I can't wait. I can't wait to hear
yeah.
it.
But yeah, it was good times. Lots of fun.
It sounds like it's the best time you've had at a con in a long time.
Yeah, the one
Not to say
comment
you haven't had a good
Yeah.
time at cons, but like this one takes the cake for a good period of time.
yes.
I think you have to get out of Comic Town in order to have a good comic show, because in Comic Town, it feels like it's
Everyone knows
Tuesday.
you.
We take for granted how special it is to live in a city run by comics.
Yeah.
I mean,
It was
I don't
Good.
have that same perspective.
also nice to go to a show
Yeah.
that isn't so well versed in the industry, and a town that is not part of the industry it's not. I mean, Denver's great, but it's not Portland, it's not Cleveland, it's not New York, it's not LA, it's not Baltimore where they do Heroes. Like that,
Yep.
Those are the comic towns. It was nice to do a show where I could present my book and not have someone say, Oni still does books? It was nice to not have that conversation at least once every couple of hours. That was nice.
Yeah, that makes sense when
Yeah.
when you get away from industry town.
Yeah, which by the way, anyone from Oni hearing this on marketing, you've still got a serious branding issue. Like serious branding issue. Anyway. Yeah, if I had one complaint about Fan Expo, it's that their they call it Artist Valley now. Okay. I walked it a couple times. There were 2 comic people. As in like their own creator own book they were trying to get people to buy, like self-published.
Okay.
Mhm.
The rest were print farms, Avenger cats. I made this pillow. I've 3D printed these dice towers. These are my dice. Shrinky dinks.
Or what is it?
Like
the beads.
lotions, coffees,
Yep.
teas.
I mean,
I was like, this is one thing I like about Rose City is they create the maker section.
Yep.
That's where they should go.
okay, I see what you're saying. All of those things were together with the artist alley type.
Except print
space.
farmers. Print farmers. No.
Yeah. The one good
I don't
thing,
want them at cons.
Ryan pointed this out, a lot of the proceeds still go to help children's literacy in Denver. Because it
Nice.
started as an outreach of this is called Denver. I think it was called Denver Pop Culture Con, and it was put on by the library initially. if I
Wow.
remember correctly. Yeah.
I like that.
Mhm.
I think maybe more comic and book things should be put on
Yeah.
by librarians.
I had heard they ran into financial troubles, like the COVID really did a 1-2 on them, and Fan Expo bought it. I as much as I have certain issues with Fan Expos, I feel like if Fan Expo hadn't bought it, that show might have just died, and that'd have been a real bummer for that city.
Yep.
So I did not get to go to the new Casa Bonita, which bummed me out.
It's not open yet, right?
It is open, but it's
The wait list is like 2 years.
they're
Wow.
what they're calling beta seating. So you sign up
Okay.
on their list, and then they email you and say, would you like to make a reservation within the next 2 weeks? Like that's how they're kind of running it through.
Interesting.
I think I did read they've gotten rid of tipping at Casa Bonita.
Does that mean they're all getting paid a living wage?
Yeah, they're all getting $30 an hour starting wage.
Wow.
That's a livable
Shit.
wage in Denver.
In your
Not
face, Seattle.
not huge, but if you're full time, you could have a decent studio apartment in downtown Denver at $30 an hour and still be able to enjoy your life, not be rent
Mhm.
poor or whatever. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. But when I go back, goddamn right, I'm going to Casa Bonita. So yeah, 62,400 gross.
For a 40-hour work week. at
That's
$30
not that
an hour.
much. That's still, I believe.
That's where we should all be starting.
Yes.
That's about median income, like in a less expensive part of the country. Not like that's not median income in Portland,
No.
No.
it's not.
but
Actually, in Portland, it's 58.
for a single person,
That's the median income
Median
for
income.
single is 58.
really?
Yes.
I thought
Yeah.
it was lower than that.
You can get into assisted renting, not low income, at 47,000, which I missed by $1,500. Boy, would that be nice, because I could knock about $300 a month off my rent.
Ryan says something about the tip minimum wage. Does Denver do a tip minimum wage?
I don't know.
I know that Arizona, or at least Phoenix, used to, because when I was a busser, I made like $5 an hour plus tips, and servers made like $2.50 an hour plus tips, because they would dole out like a percentage of their tips to for all the other front of house
Right.
people. But that's not the actual minimum wage in that area. They drop it down because you're supposed to
Oh.
declare your tips, and that rounds you out to that
Right.
average.
I don't know how Denver works. It's all such a scam. We got to wrap up the show.
Yeah,
That's where we're
all
going
I'm
to-
going to say is that tipping in the U.S. Well, yes, please tip your servers. Please tip anyone who does any service for you. Is based it's born out of slavery.
And indentured servitude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's 100% born out of that.
Yeah.
It was a way to get around having to pay black people when they were started to earn wages.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I don't think I knew that, but I'm not surprised.
Yeah,
Right.
It is fucking shitty.
Pretty much everything in America, you can go back and like, oh, it's slavery. Like damn near everything.
It's why other countries don't have tipping,
just
because
this afternoon,
they just pay people.
I was thinking, I'm like, I don't know why. I was driving through downtown and I thought about the word jaywalking. I was like, why does that mean what that means?
Did you look it up?
Betcha it's racist. No, I
Yes.
was driving.
Just like, and we got to wrap up. I don't know why, but every once in a while, I'll get Jimmy Crack Corn stuck in my head.
And that's not racist.
And I was like, I bet you that's just some it's not. I have and I've
surprised.
read articles that have like drilled down deep, and they're like, nope, it's literally about breaking
Cracking
crack corn,
And nobody's upset.
yep, it's got nothing to do. I was like, that's
Wait, maybe
It's
that
so-
maybe that's how it's not racist, because somebody did a thing and no one's bothered by it.
yeah.
That's the report. No
But
one cares.
being American is being shocked that something that sounds racist as the song, because it's even kind of ragtime. I mean, it sounds like a Dixie song.
Yes.
Nope, it's exactly what it's about. Cracking corn. I don't care.
I would have bet money.
Yeah, me too. Like I would have bet money a couple years ago that the sound you hear coming out of ice cream trucks was not racist. But it is. It's a horrible, horrible song.
Mm-hmm.
Let's stop there. We're over time.
Yeah.
If we don't
We'll be
stop
back next
now-
week with maybe RevNat. I'm gonna try.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Mhm.
Oh, God damn it.
Yeah, he's got some cool stuff coming up.
He
Events.
does. Including his NA stuff that's on tap now. I have sampled, I have tested
Right.
both of them. When the pineapple goes back on tap, get it. It's actually very delicious.
Excellent.
Well, with that, I am Aron Duran,
I'm Benarita.
And I am still Cable Hashitani.
and we all crack corn and we don't care. Watch, I'm gonna get like, actually I've been studying American folk for 10 years and that's hella racist.
We won't be surprised.
Yes.
Bring it.
We'll be back next week.